Welcome to English Learning from Scratch. In this lesson, we will explore irregular comparatives and superlatives. These are special forms in English that don't follow the regular rules. We'll focus on the most common irregular forms like good, better, best and bad, worse, worst. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use these forms correctly in your sentences. Let's understand the basics. Comparatives are words we use to compare two things. For example, this coffee is bigger than that one. Superlatives are words we use to describe something as the most extreme among many things. For example, this is the biggest coffee in the shop. Irregular forms are special because they don't follow the normal rules. Instead of adding or est, these words change completely. We need to memorize them. Let's start with one of the most common irregular forms. The base form is good. When comparing two things, we use better. For example, this coffee is better than tea. When comparing more than two things, we use best. For example, this is the best coffee in the shop. Notice that good, better, and best are completely different words. There's no pattern to follow, so we must memorize these forms. Now let's look at the opposite. The base form is bad. The comparative form is worse. For example, today is worse than yesterday. The superlative form is worst. For example, that was the worst day ever. Like good, these words completely change. Notice how similar worse and worst sound, but they're used differently. Worse compares two things, while worst describes the most extreme among many things. We also have irregular forms for quantity. The base form is much or many, depending on whether we're talking about uncountable or countable nouns. The comparative form is more. We use more to show that something is greater in amount than something else. The superlative form is most. We use most to show the greatest amount. Another important form is little. The base is little, the comparative is less, and the superlative is least. For example, I need more time, but they need the most time. Another irregular form is far. The comparative forms are farther or further. The superlative forms are farthest or furthest. Here's an important distinction. Use farther and farthest when talking about physical distance. For example, my house is farther than yours. Use further and furthest for abstract ideas like progress or discussion. For example, let's discuss this further. Both versions are correct, but they have different meanings. There are more irregular forms to learn. Old is tricky because it has two comparative forms. We can say older or elder and oldest or eldest. Generally, we use older and oldest in most situations. We use elder and eldest mainly for family relationships. For example, my eldest brother. Well is the adverb form of good. Its comparative is better and superlative is best. The word ill is an adjective meaning sick. Its comparative is worse and superlative is worst, just like bad. Finally, late becomes later or latter in comparative form and latest or last in superlative form. It's important to know when to use each form. Use comparatives when you're comparing exactly two things. The pattern is subject, verb, comparative, then object. For example, this book is better than that one. Use superlatives when you're comparing three or more things or describing the most extreme. The pattern is subject, verb, the superlative noun. For example, this is the best book I've read. Remember, comparatives always use then. Superlatives always use the. Let's look at the correct sentence structures. For comparatives, the formula is subject plus verb plus comparative plus then plus object. Example, this apple is better than that orange. Another example, she speaks worse than her sister. For superlatives, the formula is subject plus verb plus the plus superlative plus noun, sometimes with a prepositional phrase. Example, this is the best apple in the market. Another example, she is the worst speaker of all. Always remember to include then with comparatives and they with superlatives. Let's practice with examples. Here's a comparative example. Her voice is better than mine. Here's another. This weather is worse than yesterday. And here's one with quantity. He has more experience than her. A more complex example. She speaks English better than I do. Now let's try superlatives. Example, this is the best movie I have seen. Another example, that was the worst experience ever. With quantity, he has the most friends in class. Another superlative example, she is the best student of all. Common mistakes to avoid: don't say more better, say better. Don't say the more good, say the best. Don't say the worser, say the worst. Let's do some fill-in-the-blank exercises. First question: this is the blank book I have ever read. The word is good, so the answer is best. Second question: that was the blank experience of my life. The word is bad, so the answer is worst. Third question: she has the blank time available. The word is little, so the answer is least. Fourth question: he is the blank runner on the team. The word is fast, so the answer is fastest. Notice that fast is regular, so we add est to make fastest. But good, bad, and little are irregular, so their superlatives change completely. Let's review what we've learned. The core irregular forms are: good becomes better and best, bad becomes worse and worst, much becomes more and most, little becomes less and least. Remember these important rules. Comparatives are used for comparing two things. Superlatives are used for comparing more than two things or describing the most extreme. These irregular forms must be memorized because they don't follow regular patterns. Practice using them in real sentences to make them part of your vocabulary. Now you're ready to use irregular comparatives and superlatives in your everyday English.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.